So Colin, reading the script, looking through the concept art, just through our conversations, there's a lot of works that come to mind when I think of Fatal Error. Were there any things that you were thinking about when you were writing it?
Well, there's the Twilight Zone reference is definitely an obvious one. The whole element of taking the everyday and then twisting it in such a fashion that the everyday becomes surreal and unusual.
See, it's interesting because not only Twilight Zone, but I also see Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I also see The Outer Limits, because Alfred Hitchcock Presents because there's a lot of suspense in the script, and The Outer Limits because it really deals with the cost of science, the cost of advanced technology.
Absolutely.
And the social commentary. That's where the Twilight Zone comes in, and that's why it's kind of those were the three TV shows that got me to sleep at night.
Definitely.
And now I got this, but those are the 3 TV shows that got to sleep at night, and I just growing up, even now.
Well, magical realism.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
That's the whole element.
For different reasons, and this really kind of combines all 3. What about literary references? Because I see a lot of Franz Kafka in this.
I could see that. Yeah.
In like all of his works.
Definitely.
Metamorphosis, The Trial.
I vain to say Pinter, but I'm definitely influenced by his idea of language, the style, just playing with the flow and the feeling of it.
A recent film that actually I think is way under the radar, I think I'll go down its history, is one of the best of the decade. You can make fun of me for this, but Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, I love that movie.
Love that movie.
It's great. No,
and it's very layered. I definitely go back. Shot in the city, shot in Chicago, but definitely go back and watch that and check out for all the meta layers, the literary references.
Meta layers. Oh man, Absolutely. This movie is filled with meta layers. Like there's the whole element of it. There's the movie itself, and then there's the fact that the beginning of the movie is another movie. It's a movie inside of a movie, but then. Watch out.
See, that's the Stranger Than Fiction connection to me.
Well, there's a third layer. That's the thing. Watch for the title sequences. We're playing with this next level. Just saying, this script, there's stuff happening.
Well, here's an argument that I get into a lot with my friends and people I respect, other filmmakers. And my personal belief is that in order for a film or any piece of work, literature, to be good, you should be able to see or read the ending, and it wouldn't affect it wouldn't affect the experience.
We still won't give it away. But
that's definitely one thing I feel about this script and this project is once you figure out what happens, it kind of makes you want to go back and rewatch it.
I agree with that.
And it's not a cheap. It's completely set up. It's completely justifiable universe, but it definitely continues the conversation past the viewing.
Well, I'm definitely guilty of that. When I tell people about a movie, for example, I'll tell them the whole thing, and then they'll say, "Well, you just told me the whole movie," and I'll say, "Yeah," and I'll go watch it.
Well, movies always get spoiled to me, and Wikipedia sucks, and most modern reviewers.
If it's a good story, the story is one thing, but you tell them, you were intrigued by that. Now go watch it.
I'm guilty of that too. I guess I'm kind of a bad human being. I read the last Harry Potter in one night, and. I was really tired, really agitated. This kid that we were kind of arch rivals at the time. This was summer school, came on the summer, and he so excited. I'm on chapter 2, and I'm just like, I didn't sleep last night.
The third man.
Did you get to the part where Fred dies? Spoiler alert. But that seriously happened.
Trigger warning. But mine, for me, it's The Third Man. I told somebody the entire plot of that movie in one sitting, 20 solid minutes, just explaining every inch of
Harvey Lime.
Different relationships in the movie, following every character arc all the way to the end, 20 minutes solid.
Yeah.
And they still watched it and they loved it.
One other thing I want to talk about is because we've been working on the shot list. Any movies going into that we should go back and rewatch? Because Orson Welles, great example. That's mandatory. One thing I also told Colin that I made him go back and watch was the first part of New York Stories, the Martin Scorsese piece, because this is a story about an artist and
the end to Crimes and Misdemeanors.
And I was about to mention that too, Crimes and Misdemeanors. How there's a lot of philosophical discussions in this piece, but Crimes and Misdemeanors is a great example of how you can take deep discussions and make them flow naturally and sound conversationally. Because even in high school, me and my friends who were dumbass jocks, we would talk about deep things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's natural to talk about philosophy.
That's the thing. It's also depth layered inside of the mundane, inside of the everyday. just building it into that. It's that layered element which makes it interesting because it's contextualized in the environment.
One more piece that I feel like this kind of reminds me as a viewer would be Planet of the Apes. On the whole idea that Planet of the Apes isn't really about the mistreatment of apes. And this film isn't really about the mistreatment of a computer.
No.
Ellis represents something else.
Layers.
Absolutely.
On one level, it works solely as a story. On another
Shakespeare,
level,
I bite my tongue at the
on another level, it's a whole element. It could be seen as a whole parable about abuse. On another level, it's an onion. You peel them back, and there's different elements to it.
There's a Greek element to it. Like I've mentioned Oedipus a lot, Oedipus Rex, and how Ellis feels like an Oedipician character. I'm trying to sound a Sophoclean. He seems like a Sophoclean or Homerian creation. Because he's trapped by fate. He's trapped by fate. He's doomed from the start. Regardless of how it ends, he's a computer. Let's be honest.
He's a computer. Well, the computer shapes it to a certain extent.
Oedipus couldn't have avoided that.
I don't know.
He had to screw his mom. There was nothing. The god said, "You're gonna screw your mom. You're gonna kill your dad." There's nothing he could have done about it.
I mean, fate is an important element in any story.
Absolutely.
Because every story has a unique relationship to it, and ultimately, you could tear your hair out about for a while. Is fate an illusion? Do people have or is the free will an illusion?
Well, I mean, I believe in fate and I believe in destiny, but that's a discussion for another day in this universe.
Right.
But it's unarguable in the work of fiction that fate and destiny exist because we, the artists, create that world. It is a created world with rules and order. Can't really escape order in fiction.
I mean, another figure, I guess, that inspired me a little bit with it, just because I've been obsessed with his movies, is like the recent Wes Anderson work. I feel like there are very few people that use title cards in that way, and it inspired me.
And from what we've been working on shot list wise, I'm seeing a lot of Wes Anderson so far.
I mean, I am too.
And don't worry, folks, we're not gonna be overindulgent, and I'm constraining him. He's a true auteur, but. We're gonna constrain him.
Well, I mean, there are other
we're not gonna go fisheye lens crazy.
That's Gilliam. That's another thing entirely.
Yeah. We're doing there's some jump cuts in here too.
Yeah, we like jump cuts.
Some French new wave.
Yeah, a bit of drama.
Yeah. I go hard for Godard. Yeah. You ever see Lapete Soldier? The Small Soldier?
No, I haven't.
High level.
I believe it.
High level.
Trying to remember which one it was.
And I mean, I'm kind of all over the place
which movie?
Sartre, by the way. This also reminds me of Sartre.
Nice.
Jean-Paul, isn't his name Jean-Paul
No
Sartre?
Exit?
No Exit. I have like a book of 4 of his plays.
Nice.
No Exit's awesome though.
I considered directing it at one point.
That's funny because I'm like, is it still in the public domain? Is it not? Whatever.
I don't know.
It'd be possible, but you need some.
Well, I was thinking in high school, it was one I was thinking of
for a play?
It's a play, yeah.
Oh, I wanted to film it, man.
Yeah, no, that was back when I was,
And they say Tarantino rips off from like a lot of directors. He rips off from Sartre. He rips off from a lot of authors too. Love Quentin Tarantino, but that you see a lot of his dialogue pop up in Sartre, and it's kind of But once again, it's like coming back to Fatal Error. Salt hides a lot of philosophy into dialogue that sounds very conversational, very natural, and that's what you achieve.
Yeah.
And you didn't achieve on his first try, by the way. On the first try. The story was great, the skeleton was great, but, really, we put the fire in his ass.
Would it be too vain to draw a parallel with who? Kubrick?
Get out of here. Well, Kubrick didn't write the script. He wasn't a writer.
No, he was. No, I was thinking more in terms of visuals, like the framing and stuff. We've been thinking a lot about precise framing.
But who set up this frame?
Well, I think the computer all along.
No, I'm talking about the one right now. This is a pretty cool angle.
This is a cool angle.
Do you guys agree?
Yeah,
that's what we bring. That's what I bring.
That's the Roosevelt shining through it.
I bring the smoke. He brings the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I hope this has been engaging.
Lightning, thunder.
Give you a little bit of glimpse into our thought process with the movie.
And our typical musings.
Pretty much.
Yeah.